Hello, amazing human. Welcome to the third video in the series of chair moves for back pain relief. In the other videos, we've already explored the rounding and arching of the spine and then the twisting of the spine. And so in this video, we're going to explore the third movement of your spine to wake it up to new possibilities and ways to move pain-free is bending from side to side. And again, for this chair moves, all you need is a chair to sit on, have your feet flat on the floor, comfortable distance apart. If you do have a chair rest behind you, just scooch to the front of your chair so you can move your back freely. Remember, these are brain-based exercises. So we're doing these movements to wake your brain up to the possibilities of rewiring old painful movement patterns. So it's not about working harder, going faster, doing the movement further. It's about the quality of the movement, the quality of information that you're giving your brain. So remember to go slow, be gentle. If you need a break, take a break. Comfortable brains learn, brains in pain don't learn. So let's get started. In this one, have your hands hanging at your side. And I know if you're sitting on a kitchen chair, the sides of the chair might be kind of in the way, but you can just hang your hands off of the side of the chair, that's fine, or in front of the chair. If you're scooched kind of to the forward of the chair, you'll probably be able to have your hands hanging at your sides. Do the best that you can. Keep it comfortable, you've got this. And in this position, with your nose pointed forward, bring your right hand a little bit closer to the floor like this. And then do the same for the left hand, sinking your left hand a little bit closer down to the floor while your nose is pointing forward. So just notice as you go back and forth from dipping the right hand down to the left hand down. Some people's inclination is actually to look down at the floor or where their hand is going and then to change and look at the right hand. What I'm asking is to be aware if you're doing that or not. You might not be, but you might be. But for this section, you're gonna keep your nose pointed forward. So your nose is pointed forward, your head will tip, but your nose is still pointed forward as you're sinking your left hand down towards the floor and then slowly coming up, and then your right hand slowly down towards the floor. So just do this a few times and just feel, is your head pointed forward or is it starting to turn? And if it is, point it forward again, slowly. The first step in changing an old habitual movement pattern is first being aware of what you're doing. First being aware of how you are moving. And notice how far you're reaching down to the floor from one side to the other. One side might be very different than the other, which is fine. We all have a preferred side to move. And especially if you have scoliosis, you'll probably notice a really big difference with this one, or if you're recovering from a stroke. And again, the idea isn't to match from side to side. It's not to even it out. That's not the goal here. The goal is to give the brain quality information so it can rearrange and reorganize movements of the whole body, coordinating the whole body. So we're giving the brain quality information, not like quantity of information. So as you're gently sinking down to the left and to the right, become aware, one, where your head is pointed. Two, how far down are you reaching? And it might be different from side to side. Keep it comfortable. And three, notice how much of your spine is moving. How many vertebrae are moving as you're bending side to side. So you might feel movement in your middle spine. That's where I'm feeling the most movement. It might be true for you or different. Maybe it's your upper spine that you're feeling movement. Maybe your lower spine. And then notice, where do you not feel movement? So I'm noticing very little movement in my lower spine. And then you can just let that go and rest. All right, now this is where things get really fun. You're gonna pick a side to go down towards. Doesn't matter what side. If there's any pain difference from one side to the other, pick the side that is the most comfortable. And if both sides feel sort of the same, just randomly pick a side. It really doesn't matter. All that matters is that you're comfortable. So for the camera's angle's sake, I'm going to choose my right side to go down. So that means with my left hand, I'm going to put my left hand behind my head and my elbow pointed to the side. So again, you choose what hand you want to go down. It could be your right hand like me, so then the left hand is up behind the head. But if you choose the left hand to go down, then it's your right hand behind your head. Okay, so I'm gonna just demo it on the one side. You pick what side is the most comfortable for you. So with your most comfortable arm down and your opposite hand behind your head, your elbow pointed to the side. So make sure your elbow isn't pointed forward with your nose, it's actually pointed to the side. Begin to sink the right hand, or the hand that's more comfortable, down towards the floor, and then come back up. Keep at a comfortable distance and slowly repeat that movement, nice and slow, of reaching the right hand down, or whatever hand you chose, and coming back up. And now as I'm reaching my right hand down, notice what your other elbow is doing. So my left elbow is moving in an arc and pointing more towards the ceiling, and then coming back down to point towards the wall. So as my right hand is reaching down, my opposite elbow is moving more towards the ceiling and then coming back down. Keep this movement comfortable and gentle. And as you continue doing this movement, notice where your elbow is going. Notice if your head is starting to turn, and if it is, it might be starting to turn upwards towards the ceiling. Remind your brain to keep it pointed towards the wall in front of you. So no turning of the nose, no turning or collapsing of the elbow if you can. Keep the elbow pointed out to the side, your nose pointed forward as you're gently sinking or reaching down with your one hand towards the floor. And as that hand is sinking down towards the floor, what are the opposite side ribs doing? You might feel those ribs expanding on the opposite side as you're sinking down, and then squishing together as you're coming up. So as this hand is going down, the opposite side ribs are moving like an accordion, squishing outwards and then coming back. So this configuration of movements is waking your brain up to the possibility that your ribs can move, and your ribs are attached to your middle spine there, and that's giving your brain rich information of new possibilities to move. And that's wonderful. You can just let everything go and go back to your neutral position and just rest. And notice if there's anything different about how you're sitting now. Maybe you're noticing your shoulders feel a little bit different. One might be lower, one might be higher up. Maybe there's more awareness of your spine. And now let's go back to the very first movement of just hanging both hands down at your side. And then whatever side you just did the movement on, so I'm gonna pick my right side, you pick whatever side you just did. Slowly sink that hand down to the floor and notice, whoa, how much further you can go and how much more comfortable it is. I'm going way further. And then slowly go back up to your neutral, and then slowly sink the opposite side hand down. And notice the difference in the quality of movement and the range of motion. And then gently come back up and then sink back down to that original hand. And I'm going way further. What part of your spine is moving to make this happen? And then as you slowly straighten up and move to the other side, notice what parts of your spine aren't moving. That's sort of blocking the other side. And now as you're doing it, you might notice them start to even out a bit, but it's just so cool to feel how fast your brain can reorganize your movements to make it easier so you can go further with less pain, almost instantaneous. All it needed was a little bit of quality new information for it to reorganize itself in a more efficient, pain-free way. And I can sink way down this way, feel those ribs expanding, feel the lovely movement of the vertebrae in that section moving to allow your hand to reach down further. And that's wonderful. You can go back to your neutral position. Now, if you did notice a change, reaching down on that one side was a little bit easier, you went a little bit further, a little bit less pain, congratulations, you just experienced brain plasticity in action. You gave your brain quality information, and your brain was able to take that information in and reorganize your body. Now, if you would like to do the other side, you can go ahead and do that, but I sometimes like to just do one side because it's a fun experiment for your brain to really notice the difference. The ability for your brain to notice differences is actually how it learns. That's a little bit deeper dive into the theory that I go more detail into if you're interested inside the ChairMoves program. But these simple brain-based exercises that are easy to do, that are gentle, that are pain-free, like you can do sitting in a chair, are available inside the ChairMoves program. So if you want to take what you just learned and expand on it with deeper guided sequences that will retrain your brain, release relieve pain, and increase your mobility. You can check that all out down below inside the ChairMoves program. Remember to work smarter, not harder, and moving pain-free really is possible when you give your brain the right information. So take care, keep exploring movement, and we'll see you in the next video, okay? Bye.